Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Friday morning trading session, the end of another work week. Let's see what the markets have got for us this morning. It looks like we're opening with a little bit of a gap from where they left off. We'll take a look here. Let's take a look here at the Raptor. So we've opened right about here, and the market's kind of topped out the overnight around the 43.50 area. Looks like it hit that several times, 43, 52, 53. But where did we leave off yesterday? We left off down here around the 43.19 area, 1920, 43.19, 43.20, and now we're opening around 43.30. So we've got a little bit of a gap down here. And there's probably a good chance, given that the market is rejecting the overnight highs, we could see a move lower here. It does appear as though the immediate move is to the downside, but of course it's very early. This almost has the bear flag type flavor to it, where we're getting this little consolidation, and now we're into the hard edge, and maybe we're going to see a bounce out of that hard edge. Remember, whenever the market encounters the hard edge, we usually anticipate some sort of reaction there. Well, and there's our sell signal. Dare I? All right. We'll throw the short in, and I'll get my stops in above the high. Well, we'll engage it, and then I'll adjust it. All right, I want them at least above the high there. And we'll see if we can't catch some immediate momentum as the market tries to get into that opening range gap. It's always tough to judge the market right out of the open. Looks as though the gold market is heading higher, so that could help here with our NASDAQ trade. Here's gold on the Eagle, and you can see nice little rally here to the upside. Again, as the stock market opened in North America, we had this, well, it wasn't quite a hard edge bounce, but a trend change nonetheless here in gold, and a little bit of a rally higher. So hopefully gold will keep ticking higher, and that should be good for our NQ trade, which I'm going to bring to break even now. And we're going to be on the lookout for the buyers. See if we can't ride out this swing that's probably going to come our way. After which, I can go with a different stop strategy, perhaps the ATR. I could probably enable the ATR at this point. We're pretty close to break even with the ATR also. Now, when I'm choosing stop strategies, all I'm doing is I'm looking to see how well the stop strategy fit the market or is fitting the market. If I want to, make it a little bit more conservative, I can adjust it or just choose a different strategy. And it looks like the ATR is doing a pretty good job of keeping me in the market. Nice big sell-off. It does look as though we've got got some downward momentum going on here. Now we're seeing some buying support coming in off of this low right here. It's always tough with your stop, you know, whether you want to leave it back at break even and see what the market can do with that extra momentum, or if you want to keep a closer stop, protect some more of this profit. Always let your pocketbook be your guide. At the end of the day, it's your money. So how are we doing here? See, we've got about $300 in open profit. That's far from chump change. But I'll let the ATR run it out for me. Let's see if we can take one more swing. Once again, this is now that retest. You know how I tell you guys, when the market makes a breakout from a trading range, we like to see the breakout, the retest, and now show me that you're going to hold, and you can take a look at shorting again. So that was a pretty good move, initial move right out of the open. Had a chance to capitalize there on the Raptor. We would have had comparable signals on the other tools. Let's take a look here at the Hawk. Nice first micro macro cross here. It would have been a little bit nerve-wracking to take this one because, well, we don't really have a good place to cover the trade. When in doubt, you can always use the crest in the macro line or the micro line, either or. Or if you're able to, cover above the high. But by using the crest in the macro line, you can see it was no problem. One thing that I will say is that if you're going to try a trade out of the open, see if it doesn't run out. Eliminate your profit target and see if you can't catch a larger move on it. Because very often you will see some immediate momentum out of the initial signal. The problem is that it's not always clear which way the market's going to move. Oddly enough, the Falcon did not produce a signal. Should have produced a signal somewhere right around here, but the momentum was too strong. We didn't get the signal until down here. Now note that the signal is producing away from the trend line. Why is that significant? Well, on the Falcon, if it produces away from the trend line, the market will have a tendency to move into the trend line. So as such, if we took this signal right here, and you chose to, let's say, run it out and eliminate your profit objective, you're going to need to run a deeper stop in anticipation that the market's going to try to get back into this trend line. Now we hit our high probability target, and now the market's reversing and floundering a little bit, but something to bear in mind when that signal produces away from the trend line. And then here on the Eagle, well, we had our green bar sell right out of the open. And the Eagle is one of those tools that I will trust an early signal on the Eagle. So here comes a soft edge bounce now on the Eagle. Only thing I don't really care for about this signal is we're on the bottom end of this trading range. If we shoot some trend lines here to kind of see the current market momentum, not to say this signal won't have some serious follow through to it. It's just that it's easier to short from the top than it is to short from the bottom. Okay, gold still heading higher, and now we've got crude also heading lower, but not nearly as drastically as what we've seen here on the stock indices. This is crude oil now on the hawk, and you can see it is inching lower, but for the most part, the market very, very sideways. Lots of yellow bars, lots of choppiness. Crude oil being extra difficult, especially of late. Well, actually, last few months, really, where crude oil has been a real pain to try to trade. Okay, the buyer's still looking for some sort of support. We got a nice macro pullback signal here, spoiled by the yellow bar. I might have considered this as a 4-arrow consolidation, even though we only have 3 arrows. Why? Well, because the formation is very tight. As you know, the 4-arrow consolidation is the only signal I'll take off of yellow bars in the hawk, and because it's such a strong signal, especially when the signal has this bear flag pattern to it. So 3-arrow consolidation, it eventually, well, it ran out, but it also produced another first micro-macro cross signal right here, which we know is a high probability signal. Now, at this point of the game, you may want to think about taking profit on part of your position, because we've had a big run out. I think it's pretty obvious that the market is in a downtrend today, but we're also going to see the momentum start to slow as the day goes on, or as the morning goes on. So we hit our profit target, took a little bit of heat. Now we're back with some more consolidation. So you can see huge move down, and the legs are starting to get a little bit shorter. I'm thinking here that after this monster rally out of the open, well, a decline out of the open, the best the buyers might be able to do today is just to throw the market into a sideways range. You know, when you see that much momentum, a full-on reversal, while definitely possible, does not seem all that likely. All right, here we go with yet another macro pullback. I'm going to throw this one on just for demonstration purposes. What I want to point out to you here is that, and this is also a 4-arrow consolidation, but what I want to point out to you here is that the macro pullback, when it starts to produce many macro pullback signals, it's not necessarily as reliable a signal. Now, I'm going to actually delete my break even on my profit target because we just have a single going on here. But the macro pullback signal shows a market trying to get higher, right? That's how the macro pullback develops. So we've got a big move down, then we get the retracement. The macro pullback develops because the buyers are actually able to change some of the market parameters. Then the sellers knock them down again, and here comes yet another macro pullback. Now, I would not have traded this one because of the yellow bar. And here we come yet with another macro pullback. So every time you see a macro pullback, that tells you that, hey, the buyers are getting a little bit stronger here. they're pushing a little bit harder. And you can see now they're actually going to produce a green bar sell. So when you see macro pullback, macro pullback, macro pullback, don't just think, oh, macro pullback, Eric says it's a high probability signal, I'm going to trade all the macro pullbacks. No, you kind of have to gauge it in the overall context of what's going on. So here we have now our green bar sell. This is actually a better signal than the macro pullback signal we had here, because we have a little bit more room to retest the lows. And I think we got slipped a tick on our fill also, so there is some momentum leaving the marketplace. As they try to tick higher before the sellers try to knock them down again. So now what we're interested in is making sure that our stop is far enough away that they can't get at us. As we get higher to this top end of this little trading range, remember how I said this may be the best that the sellers are able to produce today is a trading range, in which case it may look something like this. Another reason why you wouldn't necessarily want to take this signal here, because it's at the bottom end of a potential trading range. Well, the buyers are making a good show of it. They're pushing hard. They're really trying to dig in. Okay, so now here comes the first micro-macro cross signal. Yes, it's a high probability signal. But again, you have to kind of take it in context. If you think there's enough room to profit here before you run into the resistance, then by all means, go for it. But remember, not every first micro-macro cross is going to work out, right? You're going to be right about 80% of the time. But this could be one of those situations, given the strong downtrend, given that we're kind of potentially moving sideways. This may be one of those first micro-macro crosses that may end up failing. So if you wanted to take this one, maybe you want to offer up a couple of ticks and take it above the high of this little itty-bitty swing. It would end up above here instead of on the hash mark. Tony is asking about the Geiger counter. He says here on the Geiger counter, there's this trade indicator that forms around the current bar sometimes, or trend indicator. He says, can you take that off? Good question. Let me see. I don't see it. I don't know what this does. Arrow. Let's see what that does. I don't think it does anything different. No, Tony, I don't think it can, but that would be something to write Adam about. I don't think it would be a big deal to offer that feature to disable that. All right, so the buyer's still trying to come at the sellers here. And here come the sellers trying to move the market lower. We're going to produce a red bar buy signal. It would be nice to see that fail, because then we're definitely going to see the market try to retest the bottom end of this trading range. And it looks like if we can get below this 4303 area-ish, then we might be in pretty good shape. So here we are, threatening all the buyers that bought down here, they bought here, they bought here. So all their exit orders are going to be sitting right down there. And now look at them, they're trying to buy it up again with some limit orders, or even just market orders, just hammering the market orders, trying to get in there. Now let's see whether or not we get another push lower. There they go, come on. Okay, I think it's probably time to maybe protect a little bit of this profit. Oh, there come the buyers again. What's up with that, you guys? Oh, man. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Oh, dear. All right, well, we'll see whether or not they can recover here. Another first micro macro cross. If you want to try it again, here, why not? We're in the room. Why not? I'll reset my trade the way I had it. All right, and again, I'll get rid of the break even and the profit target. We're going to get a comparable signal, it looks like, here on the Falcon. Nice little trend change signal that you can try to take advantage of, or you can take it below the low, either or. We're currently below the primary support. Seeing some sort of reaction here around the 4,300 line, which is probably due to this support line at 42.98. If we can get through there. Next stop looking to be around the 42.85 area-ish. And here too, here we'll play a little bit today. We'll take our profit target and we'll run it down here to say 42.86 half. And I'll make Jim happy. I'll delete my break even on this trade. Now we're near yesterday's lows. I think yesterday's lows were around 42.95. I'm trying really hard to be patient with my stops. But if things look like they're going to hold, I think I may just punch out of the trade. Well, you have two courses of action, really. One, you can be an extremist and punch out of the trade right away. Or two, you can hold on to the trade and just see if you can ride out the next swing, because the trend today, obviously down. But the buyers are not leaving it alone. Come on, sellers. Come on, sellers. Come on. All right. So here's that point where the sellers are starting to recommit to the trade. If you're going to be more aggressive with your stop, that's probably the place to put it, around this 43.0708 area. If the market fails at this point, you can see we're working on a possible trend change signal to the upside. Then it's probably going to head higher. Or alternatively, like I say, leave your stop back there and hope that you can ride out the swing. It looks as though on our macro pullback signal, we had no problem hitting our profit objective. And here too, we're getting indications that, the market is starting to perhaps get a little bit weaker. Where are my parabolics at? No, not parabolics. Bar high low, sure. All right, so a little bit of a hiccup there as the buyers are trying to press the market, starting to get some higher swing lows. And we're producing some green bars now, so we may come back with a micro-macro cross to the upside. Seeing that the momentum is failing to the downside, this could be a viable pattern. So we'll see if they come back now with that first micro-macro cross signal. Just waiting on that. Come on, where are you? Are we getting... Yeah, see, we're going to try to drift into the hard edge, I think. Actually had a soft edge buy here on the Raptor, right here. Let's take a look at that. So the soft edge buy is always preceded by a test of the extreme, a little retest. And there's our signal right there. And you will anticipate the market to move at least into the hard edge. And possibly even a little bit higher. Sometimes there can be some very good follow through off of these soft edge buys. You don't want to get too cocky with the market, though. It is in a very strong downtrend. All right, so here's our first micro macro cross. And given that it's a downtrend, given that the market may be moving into a sideways market, I will be satisfied with a scalp. And it looks like we may have got a positive slip on our trade there. Where things are actually in our favor. Oh, baby. Come on. Where are the bowls? No, come on. Oh, you're going to be like that? A nice red bar buy signal. We should see a retest of this high before it fails. So this is actually a pretty nice looking signal, that red bar buy. I should have gone in here with a onesie, actually. I shouldn't have allowed it to do the full 2%. Oh, if we can only ride out this swing. There we go. They're trying. Come on. Come on. Get up there a little bit. Just a little ways. Okay, we're into yellow bars. Now it's probably time for me to start rolling my stops. Again, I don't want to be too anxious here. It's always a little bit of a balancing act. I try to take comfort in the fact that the amount I have at risk is actually an amount I can afford. And we all know that the markets can be evil, where they'll come down, anticipating that everybody's rolled their stops to here, to 43.02, so they'll come tick 43.01 3/4 and then head higher. See, here they are, 43.02. There's 43.01 3/4, 43.01 half. They're looking for those orders, and now are the buyers going to dig in? Are you going to make a liar out of me? Come on, get up there. No! Darn it. Darn it! They will probably try to rally the market back up here to this high. I suspect we're going to see a trading range here today. The buyers are trying to defend, but the sellers were so strong. Oh, see? Who told them my stop was at 4,300? Sometimes you just have to look away. All right, so here we are now. We're going to test the top end of the trading range. I didn't see a signal on the Falcon just yet. No, and we're into the hard edge. A couple of soft edge buys. And now we've got another first micro macro cross signal. So testing the top end. Remember, the overall trend is still down. We may be in a trading range here. Try not to be too trigger happy with your trades. Because, like I say, the overall trend on the day is bearish. We're probably going to see the market resume the downtrend at some point. Yeah, there they go. They're trying. Oh, real tug of war now. The market's really fighting it out because we're into the hard edge here on the Eagle and the, the Eagle and the Raptor. We're really starting to see some hesitation as the sellers try to get back into the market. You can see the struggle they're having, though. Sorry. Thanks, Tony. I was trying to tell you that the trade here on the hawk is a more promising looking trade. The failure of the red bar buy than the signal that we're looking at here on the raptor or the eagle. Although the eagle trade isn't too bad, really. We got the green bar sell. We're looking for the second push on the entry. It does appear as though this, the sellers are going to try to recover the trend somewhere around here sooner or later. So we've kind of breached, which again suggests that the market is no longer trending, but now moving sideways, which we've seen. Crude oil still wedging up. Here's crude oil now on the eagle. And just very, very sideways trading here in crude oil this morning. No real signal on the eagle. Actually, the hawk and the falcon are a little bit of a mess also, as far as the crude oil market is concerned. And gold also kind of moving into a sideways pattern. Here's gold now on the hawk. And after gold's fairly strong rally, they've kind of settled into a lot of yellow bars. Fell off a little bit when the NQ rallied. And now just really kind of wishy-washy. It looks as though we may have seen the move of the day. Maybe. Kinda. Sorta. Okay, well we can clean this up because obviously we're not going to get that red bar, or the failure of the red bar buy was a much better signal to take it with the trend, that being a buy signal. And we can probably cancel that order. And big trouble for our Raptor trade, as I'm looking for the sellers to show up so I can start to do something with my stop. But the market just keeps inching higher. In hindsight, I can see here the higher swing here. I didn't pay close enough attention. This higher swing, when it broke this swing here, whenever you see a market take out a significant swing point, whether it be higher or lower, you can usually anticipate two moves in that direction. So there's move number one. This is move number two. Now, if we see prices come down and say take out this swing point, then that will be move number one. There'll be a little reaction, and then I can anticipate at least one more move lower. So that's what I'm on the lookout for now. And yeah, not much. We do have a green, or pardon me, a green bar sell here in the Eagle. It's tempting, very tempting. I might take a look at actually doing that one. So we've got the green bar sell setting up. We're at the top end of this trading range, which is encouraging. And here comes the signal. It's currently against the ATR. Judgment call on your part, whether you want to take it on the hash mark or whether you want to let it turn over on the ATR before committing to the signal. It may well develop into a rule of three. You can see we have 1, 2, working on a possible third signal to the buy side. So we haven't produced the signal just yet. Where are you? And all I would be looking for here is for the market to move back to the bottom end of the trading range. Don't know whether we're going to get a full-on reversal or a resumption of the trend. Still looking for that sell signal. Come on, where are you? Okay, here they come. So where's that sell signal? Where's that short signal? There it is. Oh, here too, I should have just thrown a onesie on it. Let me change that. So we're just going to do a onesie because I don't feel like leaving much more out there for this market. Okay. Had to get my stop out of the way real quick. And let's see how we're doing here on our Raptor trade. So we could start to, do something with our stop, probably roll it above the high here around 43.15 would probably be okay. After all, if it fails at that point, then, well, we're pretty much done for. And we're getting a first micro-macro cross here on the Hawk also. So a few things coming into sync. A very quick little trend change signal on the Falcon, an early trend change signal actually, off of the primary support line. But it did have that telltale test of the extreme right there before coming back, giving us a short. Now again, on a day like today, you really need to monitor your trades fairly closely. You can see here on the Eagle, my profit or my break even is down there. Where's my profit target? Oh, right. I just sold the market, so I didn't get a profit target. But my profit target will be down here probably around 42.96, which means the market needs to get out of this trading range. Well, if I've got, I can't see what the value is here at break even. I'm going to have about $150 in open profit by the time I get to the break even trigger, and knowing that's the bottom end of the trading range, I'd be smart just to take that. Because we know there's buyers down here, right? We'll let the market do what it's going to do. I'll leave the stops in play via the trade manager and Trailblazer and the profit targets, but just something to keep in mind. Okay, Randy says he's having some trouble with the Geiger counter, getting it to display in front of all his things. Okay, what you want to do, Randy, is you highlight your Geiger counter. So click on your Geiger counter, then hold your shift key and roll your mouse. And what you want to do is you want to roll it so it says level 1 of 10. And what that's going to do is it's going to put your Geiger counter on top of everything, instead of, if you have it when you first set it up, it's probably on level 10 and it's going to be behind everything. In other words, your charts, your bars, everything is going to show up in front of your Geiger counter, which can make it a little bit difficult to see. So click on your Geiger counter, hold your shift key and roll your mouse until it says level 1 of 10. And that will put your Geiger counter on top of everything. Okay, really, really tough bar we're trading at here now. Wow. Yeah, we're definitely moved into a trading range. No question about that. A green bar sell here to go along with the first micro macro cross. The green bar sell, probably a slightly better setup than what we saw on the first micro macro cross, for the only reason that we can cover the trade above the high. And here too, I put it on with two contracts, but it's really the type of trade. I'm going to go into manual mode here. Really the type of trade you really just want to do a onesie on it, because hey, we're in a sideways range. And with sideways ranges, you're looking to sell near the high, you're looking to buy near the low. And I can nix that order also as prices just retreating. So it's turning out to be a very difficult remainder of the session after an outstanding start to the day. The buyers have come back with a vengeance, and they're doing their best to recover the market. But I think it's going to be more of the same, more of this sideways nonsense. So we'll stay with it for a little while. Haven't really seen a quality trade since the few minutes after the open. The rest of this, as I said, has just been sideways choppiness. Not really worth trading it. No, there they go. They're going to run it. Jeepers. They're just nibbling away at all the stops, just tagging stops higher and lower. You would think that somewhere through here the sellers have to show up again. Pardon me. All right, first micro macro cross, market struggling a little bit. Trend change signal. It is a viable signal. I would definitely wait for the second push on this one, which we have right there if you're going to buy it. Again, the type of trade you would take on a onesie. I wouldn't get too terribly aggressive. Sideways range and all. Because the last thing you want to do is buy at the high. Because the market is very likely to move to the low. Crazy kind of day today. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So some yellow bars now coming into the hawk. Working on that rule of three here in the eagle. So things definitely looking a little bit more bullish, choppy bullish. Possible cloud crossover here on the Raptor. Oh, we're getting some buying action going on here. You see the buyers pulled the market over. There they are. They're trying to chew through some orders, and here come the sellers now. So a pretty influential level, what we're looking at here. This 43.12 price tag. Might be getting a late filter entry with the Falcon. Again, top end of the trading range. It may rally, high probability signal, put a onesie on it, right? You're buying the top end of the trading range. Ooh, scary. And if you take it above the high, you can risk it down here below this swing low. Not giving me a warm, fuzzy feeling, but there you go. There it is all the same. All right, so the late filter entry signal printed. Oh, slipped us a tick on the breakout. Wow, there they go. Okay, so once again, DTS smarter than I am. I didn't feel so good about buying that, but it was a late filter entry signal, so there you go. Actually, I would have been a little better off taking it on the hash mark because we would be almost to our profit objective now. Certainly hitting the break-even trigger, rolling the stops now to the break-even point. Might be a little while before we get something else that's tradable here, so we'll just stay with that trade. Well, maybe getting another first micro-macro cross signal here on the hawk. I'll tell you the truth, though, the lack of momentum is a little bit of a concern. The buyer's still chewing through some of those orders there. You can see from the width of the bars, we're getting a lot more participation on the part of the sellers also. We're going to get the sellers digging in a little more as we get closer here to the median line. All right, so tap the break-even trigger. I guess I should enable my stop. Let it bring the trade up. Why is my break-even not engaging? Come on. We're not close enough to the lunch hour yet for them to be this quiet. Yeah, they're going to try to tap me here at break even in a sec. Alright, so had I taken the signal actually on the hash mark, we would have found our high probability target, but because I was a chicken and I delayed my entry, I came up a little bit short, stuck with a break-even trade. But it seems to me as though all momentum has fallen out of this market right now. So, yeah, what do we got going on? Not much, really. I'm looking around here. There's really nothing going on. Gold dead sideways. Crude oil put in a little bit of a rally, but nothing to get too terribly excited about. Yeah, everything is, like Tony says, everything's pretty stagnant right now, so. A slight upward creep with a more or less sideways direction. Well, you know what, you guys? We may close up the room here just a little bit early. It is Friday. Oh, maybe spoke too soon. We're seeing a little bit of an uptick here. What I would be looking for is some sort of reaction here to this median line. As we get closer to the 43.24 area, a reaction seems very feasible. And honestly, I can't believe that the market is trying to recover to the highs. After that monster sell-off that we saw this morning, this boggles my mind. Yeah, look at this. We're going to recover the whole session. Wow. Well, the sellers will try to knock it down again, but wow. Are they going to take it down to where they start or where they took the market this morning to the lows. Ryman's following the E-mini. He says the E-mini has recovered the 10 a.m. high and is now moving higher. Gold prices have taken a serious tumble, and I think that's sparked the stock index. So while we were watching the NASDAQ and the other stock indices change direction, this is what was going on in gold. We had our trend change signal and just a very steady move lower. Well, that amazes me. That's one for the books. All right, you guys, I think we're going to close up the room here this morning. If you are trading this afternoon, well, I would have told you look for an opportunity to sell, but it looks like the buyers have taken this market back. So you may even want to think about buying any kind of pullback that you see. If you see a retracement here into the hard edge, perhaps the market here on the Eagle giving you a red bar buy, it might be worth a go. Otherwise, I'll catch you again on Monday morning. Hope you guys have a nice weekend, guys and girls. I know I'm looking forward to mine. We'll talk to you on Monday. Bye for now.